going to continue with the next session. Uh, the next session has two cases from Latin America. Uh, One case is a case of the early childhood longitudinal survey of Chile, and I would like to welcome Dr. Bravo to talk about this very interesting study that shows that yes, we can do longitudinal studies in Latin America. Where is David here?
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation. I'm going to put myself over here because when I started my first longitudinal study in 2002, when I was presenting my results, I was able to, at that time, I was able to read. Now I need something bigger. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the early childhood longitudinal survey, what we call the encuesta longitudinal de la primera infancia en Chile. Some of the motivations we use to promote the survey from the point of view of policy and from the point of view of problems in Chile. And I discuss pretty much about the characteristics of the survey and then some of the results. So I will need you, Alfonso, maybe if you could let me know when I, after 20 minutes, so I could give room for questions. Okay, so first thing, of course, very common in our countries, we have high inequality. As more development, we would like to go the right direction. When one looks at the gaps in socioeconomic, here we are looking at this fourth grade, and these are differences in educational achievement in tests. So what we have here is in standard deviation. So in first grade we have pretty much one something standard deviation. Then when we continue measuring and different 8th grade, 10th grade, and then this is the exam before entering university. So the gap is a bit higher here. And when we follow people over the labor market, these gaps pretty much stay. So we realized we didn't have any information over here. So we use that gap to promote the fact that we need some measurement, just to understand what are the origins of this inequality. At the same time, we were looking at our research agenda, and of course, we used the fact that there was a tremendous push from international evidence on the positive effect of early childhood development interventions. And we realized that there were a lot of limitations of the available studies. Typically, these studies were done over small samples, not nationally representative, using static models. The problem is very limited in scale. Of course, the problem is trying to determine causality. A few studies looking at cost-benefit analysis. So what we, at that time, I'm talking about 2007 or 2008, so we organized a seminar to And we identified two or three components that were very important to move forward this research and public policy agenda. We started with data. We said that we need a very well designed collection of data. But not only data, we need also some presentations and of course always thinking in the identification strategy. We also use this idea of looking at the whole life cycle from conception, yes, birth, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, old age, as a continuum. That is of course of interest for all of us. And it's very also is an influence, a very interdisciplinary effort because of course we need to put together to work to analyze individuals, families, people along this lifestyle. So in the case of Chile, there were some policies that were also help to us in our case. President Bachelet's first term in 2006 promoted early childhood development interventions. Mostly the coverage by public providers, Salatuna, but at the same time, a policy, a national ECD policy that called Chile Crece that try to integrate health and education. Given that this was very important, so we of course start discussing on how we would evaluate this policy. And then we went back to our table where we had these components. So at the end, it seems that we were successful on trying to make the point. Here is, for example, how the enrollment by year is cunas, nurseries, infantil, 4 years, 5 years old, this is pre-K, and this is kindergarten, and how this coverage has been increasing. Over time, this has been part of the policy. This is the richest quintile, and we have 2013 and that on our. Okay, so this is our survey. We designed it in 2008, 2009. And the key was the support by the Ministerio de Hacienda. The first round was applied in 2010, and the second round was applied in 2012. Maybe more detail here. First thing was our first round was applied in 2010 and was funded by the Ministry of Education. It's very logical. However, in the second round, we moved to the Ministry of Labor, which is not that completely logical. But at that time, there were a lot of pressures on education, better education, a lot of stations in the streets. So higher education was taking the lead, resources and everything. So we went to the Ministry of Labor. At that time, there was law, I don't remember exactly. No one says this in English, but this was natal permiso.
Parental leave.
Okay.
Parental leave.
The parental leave, right? So it was increased, this parental leave, from 3 to 6 months. And the Secretary of Labor at that time was leading the policy. So when we realized that we were not going second round in education. So we moved to a few blocks away, and we start talking about evaluating the policy. And that worked a lot, very good. So we got the funding, we got our second. Uh, so for example, in figures, the LP 2010, very two important things. We took a sample out of the registry of birth. So we used the whole census of births. We took all the births from January 2006 in August 31st, 2009. And then we took a sample, 15, it's not 1,000, 15,000 individuals. The good thing, the important thing about this is that from the beginning we got the IDs, the numbers, social security numbers. In Chile we call them roots. So not only that, but also we request a lot of information. So I don't know if I can really hear. Nobody from Chile here. So we request a lot of information from at that level. Right? So we got the IDs of the mother, the father, the biological father, brothers and sisters, all much. Um, uh, from that, from there we received also the addresses, and then we went to the field. In 2012, we added the births until 2011. Um, Finally, we ran 15,100 surveys, and I'm going to talk about the instruments, also the evaluation instruments we use. At the beginning, we were thinking on the design. We were reading a lot on different alternatives, and I remember we discussed this cohort study that is used in UK. It's very famous, where you go and survey all people born in a specific day. We prefer this design, so to have more variation along. So we have births distributed along time. 2012, we added a few other individuals, and we have in total 18,000 children. The oldest one were born in January 2006, so we are going to be in the field again in 2016. So they're going to be probably 9 years old, and the youngest were born in 2011. So now our survey is mutating to something that is not explicitly an early child sample. Okay. So what we have is we try to measure development of children in different areas. Some difficulties. Well, we go and apply a questionnaire. A questionnaire is applied to mothers, 8% of the cases. Person in charge. The individual that was selected randomly was the child. And so we look for the person who is in charge. And we apply a questionnaire. In a second visit, we send a psychologist who applies some of the tests. And at the end of the first visit, we ask the mother to sign the consent for going to the second visit. Of course, in the first visit, there is a consent to participate in Okay, so let me just skip this stuff. The household survey, we designed household survey to include things about questions about household composition, household information, each member's education, healthcare status, labor participation status. We were some information about the different models of the questionnaire. But it's something like this. So education, employment status. This is the only part that regards the whole group. And then we go to best information about the mother or in relation to the child. Social protection, some information on assets. Of course, we have information about how was the pregnancy, so we have a lot of questions on the mother's pregnancy. Also on the participation, about the participation in different programs like the Children's Contigo and other courses. Child care participation, involvement, and some questions about the biological father. In some cases, they live in the house, not other figures, other people who in 2012, I guess we added some additional things like more explicitly immunization history, some labor history also for mothers, a module on habits, life at home, say for example, how the domestic work is distributed in the household. Um, in 2010, we had a big earthquake in Chile, so we also included some questions about the earthquake. Just to, we were thinking on trying to take advantage of that, so we wanted to know exactly where they were. Um, so yeah, this is pretty much typically what one would include in a questionnaire. But the main thing is, of course, adding evaluations. We are interested in evaluating children, also mothers. And children, we are including, I mean, we focus on measuring general development, social emotional development, physical development, and also for mothers. And some characteristics of the household. Some come from the near, some others no. So this is pretty much the list of instruments we apply. Just to let you know, this is um, 1 hour. Uh, we uh, we train a lot on this. I mean, we prepare a lot the work, the field work, because it's very important how this is done. We run several pilots before going into this. Every psychologist also has to receive training on how to apply this. This is a, Chile is very long, so we have to apply simultaneously in different cities, regions. So we need to have people very well prepared and to reduce the heterogeneity, possible heterogeneity mistakes right in the application. So it's a lot of preparation. So here we have what we applied in 2010, here in 2012. So you can see that there's some overlaps, of course, because we want to do that. The choice of the instruments also is very it's very important to discuss. In this case, for example, we use these for general development, these two tests that were not, these were not internationally known, but were applied in the most of the consultorios, the health centers. So we use them because it provided information, additional information, but we didn't apply them in 2012. We changed for others. This is the Batemi test. In 2010, we applied the complete version. Here we applied an executive version, and we applied the Peabody vocabulary test, which is more known internationally. And then we have on the social emotional side, the ASQ, the CBCL. This is our children. In 2012, we added some tests to measure self-regulation and executive function. And then we always measure weight. This is of course, the other complication is that not every test is designed for everybody, so you have to apply very well. It's very complicated. It's a lot of tasks, and we use tablets, so this helps a lot people to. They don't have to think much. They have to rightly introduce the right characteristics of the children at the beginning. And then we have mothers. We apply on the social emotional side, the big five inventory, the parent stress index, postnatal depression scale. Probably for the next round, we will innovate here also some other things. Some quick cognitive tests, and we also measure mothers. So this is pretty much what we have done. Yes, that is important. Yeah, this. So the important thing is this. We conceive this study as a system of information. So we have the survey, 2010, 2012, and 2016 will be the third. And then we have a plan until 2025. So it's going to be every 3 years. 2019, 22, 25. But the most important thing is the linkage. So we have the linkage with administrative records, and now we are just ready to have annual data on these children. So we have, for example, things like attendance, every year's attendance in schools, grades. Of course, when they take one of these standardized achievement tests, we have also the course. So now start the good thing. The good thing is, I mean, we were able to measure this between 0 and 5 years old. And now we're gonna independently, of course, we're gonna have some surveys here, but we're gonna put full records. Of course, we are also following mothers. We already linked with the labor history of mothers coming from social security records too.
Los registros de los servicios sociales. Vamos a añadir los registros de salud.
So just in 1 minute, let
Así
me
que en un minuto,
tell you
déjeme
what
por
the kind of
favor
things that we have been
tener
doing.
lo que hemos estado haciendo.
So we have, for example,
Así
when
que,
we look at
por ejemplo, cuando
weight,
vemos al
height,
peso y a la
we didn't see any difference between the first and the fifth quintile period, at least. We don't have very much problem there on the nutrition, things like that. 1 minute exactly, right? So, and then we got this, 1.1 indexes. And here we have, for example, the pattern, the pain, the socio-emotional, this is months, 6 months. And we can see that this is the poorest quintile and this is the richest. And one can see how this start to work. This is the p-value test in image, and this is standard deviations. So just let me give you a final picture. Putting together the thing, and then you can see difference between girls and boys. Girls better than boys in this is pattern, for example. Of course, the size of the difference is very different compared to the socioeconomic. Okay, so summarizing, this is, for example, this is the socioeconomic, this is the cognitive test, the cognitive status of mothers. And this is the socio-emotional index of mothers. And this is the TEPC, one of the general development tests. So you can see that mothers with higher cognitive or higher socio-emotional and both together are very correlated. This is what we see. We also have to include these kind of things in our equation. Just looking at sizes. I think this works a lot because people was very used to look at the gap, looking at universities when people take the test to go to the university. And every time the test is taken, this is the headline. Headline is 150 points, which is 110 is one standard deviation. So this is 1.3 standard deviations. And people is very used to that figure. And they look at the next result as if probably this would disappear, but of course, always the same, pretty much the same. This is the fourth grade test, 125 points. This is the p-value test. The p-value is our test at around 6 years old. This is in 3 years. And this is at the beginning, when we are able to measure at the beginning, 10 months old. So we can see a huge increase within this period. And of course, when people have detected the problem around over here, because the children were measured here in 4th grade, maybe it's too late, right? Because everything is happening over here. Okay, so I stop here. Let's see if we have any questions.
I would say that we